All right, welcome back, everybody. Week 8 and engineering problem solving. So just to remind you what this class is about, it's using the different tools for engineering problem solving. So we've done quite a bit with graphics, which we do spend a lot of time doing. We've done some Excel now, and we're going to move into Word. So I want to talk about that in a second. Before that, I want to talk about winter term. Registration is now open and classes will start to fill up. So if you know what you're registering for, you should do that right away. If you're not sure, I want to go over the program and let you know what you should be taking. And then if you have any other questions beyond that, you should be emailing me and setting up a Zoom to talk or just ask questions via email, whatever you need to do. So at the Mount Hood website, there's an area called Academics and Training. And then there's programs and majors. So that gives you a list of all the programs and major alphabetically. And you can see that there's engineering transfer and engineering technology. So engineering technology is the 2-year degree, and that's going to put you to work after 2 years. You can transfer to Oregon Institute of Technology, but you'd need some additional math and physics and chemistry to go over there as a 3rd-year student. So you can still go over there, but you'll just pay more money to take their courses. So anyway, let's cruise down and look at fall term. So that's why you're in ET120. It's part of fall term. And hopefully you've picked up manual machines. You're on a math course or math track. It doesn't have to be 95. And that you'd had GE115. So of course, if you miss any of these, you can pick them up in later terms if they're offered. For example, 115 is offered in the winter, so you could pick that up. 120 is not offered in the winter, only offered in the fall, so you have to pick it up next year. Okay, but you're in that. I know that. All right, so let's look at winter. Everybody should be in statics. If you can't get in for any reason, email me and I will add you. It does have a math prerequisite. You're supposed to be in 111. So if you're not in that, or if you're in 95, that's fine. Just email me and we can get you added in. Super fun class, very technical, very mathematical, but I'll go over the math carefully before you'll do it. So it's like a refresher in trigonometry and algebra, and then vectors. So once you get vectors down, you can do a lot of force analysis, and that's what this class is all about. You should be in GE 101. I'm teaching that, and I'm teaching 221, and I'm teaching 116. So if you take all the courses, you're going to have a full load of me. Statics is in person in the winter. So it's, I believe, Monday, Wednesday. Oh, I have it right here. Yeah, it is Monday, Wednesday. It's early, 8 to 10. And that's so those of you that need to work can still work. I don't want it in the middle of the day. Unfortunately, that's where 116 is, the advanced graphics. That's advanced AutoCAD. So that's also on Monday. So try to cluster them. And then you have GE 101, which is online for the lecture, but we're going to meet in person for the lab. So there is also, for the 2nd-year students, a couple other classes online. So the GE 101 is also online for the, oh, I said that for the lecture. So I will be recording these two also. So you'll have the opportunity to have recorded lectures that'll show up in Blackboard. So I always have enhanced my courses with Blackboard. So if you miss a class, you should be able to get the lecture and continue on. Attendance is, I won't say optional, but it's not graded for me. You know, you'll come if you're getting that information that you need. And you'll not come if life is crazy for you. So I expect you to be there for the face-to-face stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna change my share, new share here, and talk about the Excel quiz. So very nice job. Most of you did a fantastic job. Looks like some of you have had Excel before. Part of that quiz was this graphic here where you had to have 3 shapes. And this is essentially what we're gonna now do in Word. So the difference is in Excel, these are calculated, right? They have little equations in here. And in Word, they're not. So what we're going to learn in Word is how to create an equation in that document and show the equation. So that's a problem with Excel is we can't see the equation that's being run. So if you use this for engineering documentation, you have to show the equation because people want to know what equation you used, and then you have to show it being run. So sometimes I do it in Word, sometimes I do it in Excel. The skill we're going to learn today in Word can be used in Excel. So there is an equation writer also in Excel to show the equation. So I kind of prefer Excel because it'll run the math for me. But now and then I just do it in Word depending on how computationally heavy the graphic is that I need to produce. So, all right, let's go for another new share and look at Word. I think probably most of you have, run Word before. The thing we want to do as engineers is we want to be able to show this equation right here and a solution. Now, again, in Word, it's not going to run that equation for you unless you insert a spreadsheet, and then it would. I'm not going there yet. I'm just going to have you create the graphic of the equation, then use your handheld calculator, right, to run the number, double check that number for me, make sure it's correct, and then type it in, okay? So the Word document will not run the equation, but it will show it like this. So let me show you how to do that. I put my cursor here. I'm going to show you two ways to do it because the Word used to have this really sweet, simple equation writer, and it's gotten more complicated. So I'm just going to show it to you. If you go to Insert right here, and you can see that equation here just kind of right above me. I'll move me out of the way a little bit. And if you pull it down, that little triangle right there, you pull it down, you can see that there's some equations that are already in there, okay? You can use those and just edit them, and that's what I recommend. You can go to new equation, but it'll just be blank. So, and then you can go to more equations if you want to actually try and find one that looks closer to like what you want. But I'm just going to grab this one. I clicked on it, so then it throws it in there. Now, what Word does with this equation insert is it treats it like text, which is a little bit of a problem in that it's kind of stuck here. And I like to be able to move mine around. So for example, when I click out, it's going to just act like text. If I type, it's kind of just going to stay in line with the text. If I was to move above it and hit enter, it's going to jump around. I don't typically like that. I like my equation like this, where I can literally take it and move it anywhere I want. It's still wrapping, but I could change that, right, by this little word wrap option and say, oh, okay, I'm going to put it in front of the text. So then now I can move it around anywhere and it does not disturb my document. And that's the way I like it. So the way I've done that is I used a text box and then put my equation inside. So it's this equation, it's just inside a text box. So the way you do that is you first have to insert a text box, and you can choose whatever kind you want. I just use this standard one here, which throws a text box in with some graphics, right? And then I just hit delete, that takes all of the text away. And then I go to insert equation, and I just chose any equation. I should have chose a different one. Let's get that one out of there. Insert equation, and this one, right, goes in. Now I can edit this and move it around. Now, when you use a text box, it does have some wrapping involved in it, right? When you first place it. So you can change that by either going up to the drawing tools. So you can come into here and you can change the wrap. Okay, so I'll put it, again, I like it in front of text, so I can move it anywhere. And also that text box has characteristics to it, right? It has an outline and a shade. So you can get rid of those. Here you can see I have the text box chosen. So I can say, okay, the shape fill, I want no fill. So now when I move it around, it's kind of be like hollow. See how, yeah, that's cool. And then I can also do the shape outline and say no outline. So now I have really just truly an equation that I can, I can slide it right next to the graphic. I can do a lot of things with it. I can even change the text box size here a little bit. So yeah, it allows you to move it around and do anything you want with it. Where this one, again, you can't really grab it and move it around. I mean, you can move it around within the text, but you can't put it like, I want it over here. No, it won't go. Okay. So I just found it easier to plop it in a text box and then create the graphic. Okay. Pretty simple to manipulate them. Once you have them in, you can just type, right? When you do click on an equation, you can see the little equation tool comes up. So I can go to that and I could, make any changes I want. Like this could become fractional. Now I'm going to have a fraction inside of, I probably should, I might have to open up the text box a little bit. I should, type something in there so you can see the difference. So I'll put in X and then arrow, you can arrow Y, so something like that. So it's pretty, you'll kind of get the flow of it. I do arrow around a lot to get where I want. So here I'm just pushing the arrow button to move around. So if I wanted past everything, that was like, 6 arrow rights. Just click, click, click. And now you can see the cursor is in a new position where I can type in plus, right? And then I could add, again, all kinds of different things you can do, fractions and scripts. Powers and subsets. So if I wanted to do a power, I just click it in and then I can arrow around and say 24 to the power of X. So we're getting a really funky equation going here, right? So it's just click in, you can move your cursor around, but I can't always seem to get it where I want it. And that's why I use the arrow key just to move around the equation. Yeah, that should do it. Pretty much it. Use a text box, and then you can just, you can put them anywhere you want. You can put them right on top of your graphics and really make your document look good. That'll be very engineerish. So that's what we want. All right. Good luck with this short assignment, and I will talk to you tomorrow, Wednesday.